Marcus Webb could not remember his own Tuesday, not because he forgot it, because his mind decided it wasn't worth keeping. Marcus Webb noticed it on a random Tuesday evening. He was 36 years old, and when he tried to remember what he had done that day, he could not. Not a foggy memory, not a normal case of forgetting a boring afternoon. Complete blankness, like someone had reached into his mind and quietly removed the entire day. He worked as a data analyst at the insurance company. Steady job, steady paycheck, steady everything. He told himself it was probably nothing. He had a routine. Every day looked almost exactly like the day before it. Wake up, commute, work, commute, dinner, television, sleep, repeat. It made sense that one Tuesday might blur into the next. That was his first explanation. It was also completely wrong. The second missing Tuesday happened 3 weeks later. He sat at his desk that evening trying to recall the day. Nothing. He checked his phone for clues. No photos taken, no messages sent, no search history, just a normal-looking Tuesday according to his calendar, with absolutely nothing behind it in his memory, like a room with the lights switched off. He mentioned it to his coworker Priya the next morning, casually, like a joke. "Do you ever completely blank on a whole day?" Priya laughed. "Every Tuesday," she said. He froze. "What do you mean?" he asked carefully. "I don't know," she said, still smiling, already turning back to her screen. "Tuesdays just kind of disappear for me too. Isn't that normal?" Marcus went home that night and could not stop thinking about it. He started asking other people, quietly, carefully, like he was conducting an investigation without telling anyone he was conducting one. His neighbor, Daniel, his gym trainer, an old college friend he ran into at a coffee shop. All of them said some version of the same strange thing. Tuesdays felt thinner to them, less remembered, less real. Like a day that happened to someone standing slightly to the side of their actual life. Nobody found this alarming. They all just laughed it off the same way Priya had, like it was a mildly funny personality quirk, instead of something deeply wrong. Marcus was the only one who found it terrifying. He decided to test it properly. The following Tuesday, he set an alarm on his phone to go off every single hour. Each time it buzzed, he forced himself to stop and write down exactly what he was doing and how he felt in that moment. At 9 in the morning, he wrote, "At my desk, reviewing spreadsheets, feels fine, feels normal." At noon, he wrote, "Eating lunch alone at my desk again, feels fine." At 3 in the afternoon, he wrote something that made his hand shake slightly as he wrote it. "I don't actually remember agreeing to work through lunch every day. I don't remember choosing this job over the graphic design work I used to love. I don't remember deciding any of this." At 6 in the evening, sitting on his couch, he wrote the line that changed everything. "I think I have been asleep for a very long time, just walking around with my eyes open." That night, he read back through everything he had written, and for the first time, instead of trying to remember the day, he tried to remember his life, really remember it. Not the facts. He knew the facts. He knew where he worked, where he lived, what he owned. He tried to remember the last time he had felt something, real excitement, real curiosity, real aliveness. He sat on his couch for nearly 2 hours trying to locate a single memory like that from the past 3 years. He found exactly one, a trip to the mountains 4 years ago, before the promotion, before the bigger apartment, before he decided that comfort was the same thing as success. Everything after that trip blurred together into something that felt less like a life and more like a long waiting room. He decided to follow the mystery properly now, like a real investigation. He went to the library and researched anything he could find about lost time, dissociation, and the strange sensation people sometimes describe as watching their own life from a distance. He found a term that stopped him cold: depersonalization. Not a diagnosis he gave himself carelessly, but a description that fit disturbingly well. A psychological state where a person feels disconnected from their own actions, their own choices, their own days, as if they are simply observing a version of themselves going through motions that someone else decided on. It often happens, the research said, to people living lives that no longer reflect who they actually are. People who have been running on autopilot for so long that their own mind starts protecting them from the boredom and disappointment by quietly editing certain days out of memory altogether. Not because those days were traumatic, because they were empty, and the mind, it turns out, does not bother filing away days that contained nothing worth remembering. Marcus sat with that explanation for a long time. It was not supernatural. It was not a mystery with a villain or a conspiracy behind it. It was something quieter and, in its own way, much more frightening. His own mind had started deleting his life because he had stopped living it. He thought about the job he had taken because it paid more, not because he wanted it. He thought about the graphic design work he used to stay up until 2 in the morning doing for free just because he loved it, before he decided it was not practical enough to pursue. He thought about the friends he used to call every week, who he now saw maybe twice a year, because keeping up with the routine of work and sleep and repeat had quietly swallowed every other part of his life. He thought about how easy it had all been to let happen. Nobody forces you into a wasted life all at once. It happens one convenient decision at a time. Skip the class you were curious about because the safe major made more sense. Take the job that paid better instead of the one that felt alive. Cancel plans with a friend because you are tired, then cancel again, then stop being invited. Each decision small, each decision reasonable, each decision quietly trading a piece of an actual life for the comfort of an easier one. Until one day you look up and cannot remember a single Tuesday because none of your Tuesdays have contained anything worth remembering in years. Marcus did something unusual the following Tuesday. He called in sick, even though he was not sick. He drove 2 hours to the mountains, the same trail from 4 years earlier. He sat at the top and did not check his phone once. He noticed the wind, the exact color of the sky, the specific ache in his legs from the climb. Small details, ordinary details, but details for the first time in years that belonged entirely to him. That evening, he wrote in his notebook, "I remember today, all of it, every hour." He underlined it twice. He did not fix his entire life overnight. Nobody does. But he started making small, deliberate choices. He picked up design work again on weekends just for himself, with no plan to turn it into anything. He called his old friend from college and actually showed up when they made plans. He started noticing actively the small textures of ordinary days instead of letting them slide past unwatched. Slowly, the blank Tuesdays became rarer, not because anything mysterious had been solved, but because he had finally given his mind something worth remembering. He never found out for certain whether Priya or Daniel or his old college friend ever noticed the same shift in themselves. He suspects most people never do. They keep losing their Tuesdays quietly for years, sometimes for entire decades, mistaking the blur for simply how adult life feels, never realizing that the fog is not inevitable. It is a signal, a very patient, very quiet signal from your own mind, telling you that the life you are currently living does not have enough of you inside it to bother keeping. You do not lose your life all at once. You lose it one convenient, forgettable day at a time, one skipped passion, one canceled plan, one safe choice picked over a real one, again and again until the days start blending together into something your own memory does not think is worth holding on to. The mind does not delete meaningful days. It deletes empty ones. So, if your weeks are starting to blur together, if you cannot clearly remember what made last month different from the month before it, that is not just tiredness. That is your own mind quietly telling you something important. Stop sleepwalking through days that do not belong to you. Do something worth remembering. Not someday. Not when things settle down. Now, this week, starting with the very next ordinary Tuesday in front of you, because the days you do not pay attention to are the days you are quietly agreeing to lose forever. Can you clearly remember what you did last Tuesday? Really remember it, not just guess based on your usual routine. Tell me in the comments, and share this with someone who needs to hear it today.